Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment as the Tennessee Titans fall to the New England Patriots 13-36. I did not make a preview for this game. This was Thanksgiving week. Wanted to spend time with the family, take a little bit of a well-deserved, break. You had to spend time with the family during Thanksgiving week, but also because I really didn't want to, because what really was there to, I could have came on here and crafted a scenario or two in which we could somehow come out and win this game. This is something that I could have done. But I just realized, you know what? It'd be kind of pointless. Even more pointless than me coming on here and telling you that we're going to lose, or maybe not lose, that we're going to beat a team like the Texans or the Jaguars, even though I'll warn you that we may not, which I did against the Texans for good reason. But this one, it was just so obvious to me, and that's why I cut out. Let me see if I can get it back. Okay, so I think I cut out for a second. I thought my internet just cut out, but I should be back now. What's sad about this game is that you saw plenty of opportunities for the Titans to actually compete and win. This was mostly a competitive first half, and then we had, what was, I would not even call a lucky Dontrell Hilliard touchdown, but a fortunate Dontrell Hilliard touchdown that put us in solid position to maybe even win this game. So this game certainly felt winnable. Now, I think even if we don't get the Deontay Foreman fumble in the third quarter, even if we go on to score a touchdown in that drive, I still believe the Patriots would have ended up winning the game. But the one thing that was happening at that moment in the game, you saw momentum start to turn our way. You saw Mac Jones starting to lose some confidence, starting to throw some poor throws and make some bad decisions. You saw the pass rush come alive. That was our little window of opportunity. But it wasn't much more than that. So I still feel like if you played this game 10 times, we only win maybe 2 of them. So let's not overreact and say, wow, we blew so many opportunities. If we didn't blow the opportunities, we certainly would have won the game. I don't think it's quite the case to say that, but I do think it was winnable. It was certainly winnable. I'm not going to say that they would have won 10 times out of 10 today. I would have said 8 or 7, though. 8 or 7. So this is what I expected. I'm not shocked. And I don't want us to be too depressed either, right? You see, when you guys are too high, I bring you down. When you guys are too low, I bring you up. Because you always need to remain even keel and have a good understanding of what this team is. So with that said, let's discuss the game. And let's start with the defense, actually, because the defense to me was interesting. So you saw Kevin Byard, overall, although he did let up the touchdown to Hunter Henry, not even Hunter Henry, to Kendrick Bourne. That was a beautiful catch by Kendrick Bourne in the end zone. I'm not going to blame Kevin Byard for that. That's almost as good as you can play that play. That's just a great throw and a great catch there by Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne, so no problems there. He also, though, definitely misjudged the deep ball to Jacoby Myers, and I want to say the second quarter. I thought he could have picked it off, to be honest with you, but he tried to go up with one hand, missed it. I thought he could have picked it off. I think if he would have jumped up like a wide receiver, I think he could have picked it off. But he went to just deflect it, and he misjudged it. Jacoby Myers caught that deep ball. But outside of that, he got in stride. I think he got 1 or 2 sacks. I think officially he got 1 sack with 2 quarterback hits, and then was a little bit more, involved in terms of the run game and tackling later on as the game went on. So I still give a positive grade for Kevin Byard. Big Jeff Simmons, he was in there doing things. I saw him actually doing things, stuffing the run a little bit, so I like that. Monty Rice was up and down. He had the penalty in the first quarter. After that, he was mostly stable. Christian Fulton, this guy continued to play well to me. He had a big pass knockdown in this one. And outside of that, he really wasn't targeted. He even had a nice tackle, and he doesn't tackle often, but he even had a nice tackle that I took note of in this game. So I like what I saw from Christian Fulton. Not much to really know from, Jack Rabbit Jacobs or anyone else really in the secondary, anyone else in the real linebacker core. The only thing that was frustrating was that I don't understand why Hunter Henry was getting open such consistently, because Mac Jones missed a wide open touchdown to Hunter Henry that Kevin Byard would have been covering, but Kevin Byard was in poor position anyway on that play, and I don't think that was his fault. So I want to go back and look at the tape for that one. But I don't know. The defense was fine. It certainly could have been better. Especially considering the fact that we have all the guys that we have out offensively, but we also have guys out defensively as well. So it's about what I expected. They did okay. They did fine. Now, offensively is where things get interesting. And now I'm starting to see more and more conversations revolving around quarterback Ryan Tannehill. Now, I have started this conversation, I don't know how many weeks ago now, maybe 6 or 7, maybe even week 1. I think maybe even week 1, I guess the Cardinals, that game, I was so upset, I even roasted a little bit then. Here's the thing. Today is not the day to necessarily hate on Ryan Tannehill. I thought this was a very Ryan Tannehill game. But let me tell you, man, I mean, we're talking now, he has, I think, 14 touchdowns, so 13 interceptions on the season, putting him on pace for, let's say, 19 touchdowns to 18 interceptions on the season. His current passer rating is, let me check, it's probably around 90. Probably now it's even lower. It's probably like in the 80s now. His passer rating, it is already in the 80s. It's 86.1. After this game, it's going to be like 83 or 84. And I think it will get slightly better than the pace. But let me tell you right now, good luck defending Ryan Tannehill throughout this offseason. Because let me tell you right now, he is already ranked in the bottom 6 of qualified quarterbacks this league, or, starting quarterbacks this year in this league. Is going to be even low. He's going to be in the bottom 5. And we're talking about he's lining up with, he's below, first of all, he's below Tua, he's below Taylor Heineke, he's below Baker, he's below Jalen Hurts, he's below Matt Ryan, he's below Jared Goff. He's slightly above Trevor Siemian, Daniel Jones, Davis Mills, Jacoby Brissett, and he's well above these losers, Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson. But you are comparing him now to rookie quarterbacks. They're losers. We expect them to be losers for right now. Someone in the chat just said it. Shout out to CB. He's looking like Marcus Mariota in his 3rd year, right? Where Mariota threw for, I want to say, 13 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. And this was a very Mariota-like performance in that year. Where games where, we had injuries or the offense wasn't clicking. Mariota was doing his best and he was actually playing like decent winning football. You couldn't pin the game on him. But ultimately, did he give nearly enough positive for us to lead us to victory in an environment, in a circumstance like this? No. Right? I mean, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Maybe slightly better. It's literally slightly better than Mariota year 3. Slightly better. It's only slightly better. So our excuse for Mariota, or at least our belief, is that he finally was exposed or, after he broke his leg the year before, he just got ghosted in his head and he lost confidence, and then that was it. Tannehill, I will argue more. No, it's just, the offense, just a lot of, players that are in and out, and it's been hard for him to find his stride with these players and whatnot. Granted. I grant that 100%. And unless if this offseason, we're going to have extensive conversations about this in the offseason, unless if a name comes available that I'm not anticipating, and someone in the chat just said Deshaun Watson, I don't think there's a chance in hell they trade him in the division. So forget about that. But the one name I would look into is Russell Wilson. Now, we've already given away a lot of draft capital. I understand that. I don't even know if he'd really love to come to Nashville. I know that he's married to Sierra, and I know that she is an artist. She's not a country artist. I don't know how much she'd love Nashville, Tennessee, although it's becoming more like L.A. lately, and I love that, and I love the women that come along with that. But it's not quite L.A. yet. If we could get Russ Wilson, okay, let's have that conversation. But I don't know if he can have that conversation. I don't know if he wants to come here. I think he's going to position himself for like the New York Giants or the Miami Dolphins or some BS like that. If we could, okay, I'd be into that conversation. Outside of that, or a name that I'm not anticipating right now in this moment, I think we have to run it back next year. And not that this year is over, by the way. I don't think this year is over by a long shot. But considering the fact all the injuries that we've had, I think you absolutely must run it back next year 100% with this crew. I mean, Julio Jones is under contract. A.J. Brown is under contract for 1 more year. Hopefully, and he has no grounds next year to hold out in camp and put us through drama. You have no grounds for that. What have you done this year? I mean, he may not even break 100 yards. He probably won't break 100 yards right now at this rate. So let's see. Anyway, So I'm actually going to be more defensive of Ryan Tannehill today. I mean, this to me is not the day for us to say, oh, well, let's move on from Ryan Tannehill. But I'm saying, I mean, the dude threw for, in decent conditions, 93 yards. And I understand the talent wasn't there. He threw for 93 yards. How many quarterbacks this year are going to throw for 93 yards in a fourth-quarter football game? How many? I mean, you're going to see a couple names. You're going to see Zach Wilson. You're going to see Justin Fields. You're going to see Mac Jones. Maybe not even Mac Jones is going to throw for that low. I mean, who else? Who else is going to throw for 93 yards in a football game? In the entire league. Like, that is so low. Like, that is incredibly low. That is shockingly low. And ultimately, at some point, yes, you do need better talent, but like, you're a 33-year-old quarterback. Like, I expect you to elevate your talent at this point. Justin Fields is like 23. You're 33. At a certain point, you have to elevate the talent. I mean, that's what you have to do at 33 years old. I'm sorry. Look, Matt Ryan, although he's not performing particularly well, he's turned Cordero Patterson into a wide receiver again, into a viable weapon and threat. That's what Matt Ryan has done in Atlanta. They've done that. Jared Goff is making something of a horrible, awful Lions situation. He's not throwing for 93 yards in a game. So that's, a criticism. So I will criticize him there. The interception was awful. I understand it was on a 4th and goal. You had to get the ball out of there, I guess. It was awful. It was terrible. So, and I thought he could have used his legs more in this one because obviously we need it. So simple mistakes right there when it comes to the quarterback situation, but we will see. And someone in the chat said Cam Newton might throw for 90 yards. I mean, he had a horrible game today, but even in this horrible game that he had, I think Cam Newton threw for more than 93 yards. He threw for 92, but he didn't throw for, he threw for 92 yards, 5 of 21. Jesus Christ, Cam Newton. But even then, it wasn't for 4 quarters. It's probably for 2.5. I'm not sure when they pulled him. Someone in the chat tell me when they pulled him. But yeah, I mean, that's just incredibly, I mean, that is shockingly low. I mean, that's low for Vince Young. That's low. I mean, that's low. So, I mean, you're going to look at Ryan Tannehill's stat line at this rate at the end of the year and say, wow, that's one of the worst at this rate. Wow, that's one of the worst stat lines in the league. That's what you're going to say. That's what you're going to have to say. And you're going to have to defend to all the national media because all you guys want to complain about the national media and how they disrespect us and yada, yada, yada. That's what all y'all want to complain about every single time from you wake up to the time you go to sleep about the national media and how they don't respect. Well, you're going to be debating with the national media about this Ryan Tannehill stat line all off season long. And I hope you're ready to do that. I'll let y'all do that. I'll just sit back and enjoy the show. But yeah. All right. So with that said, let's move on to the running backs, where we had some ups and some downs. Now let's start positive, and then we'll go immediately to the negative. I mean, we ran the ball well in this one. I mean, and this you cannot deny. Unfortunately, and if you would have told me we would have ran for 270 yards, I would think we were up in the game for most of the game, or at least for a portion of the game. Never in the game are we up. Ran for 270 yards on 39 carries, people. What the hell? As Dontrell Hilliard had 12 carries for 131 yards and a touchdown. And then running back Deontay Foreman, 19 carries for 109 yards and no touchdowns, but 5.7 yards a carry. We had 6.9 yards a carry as a team. What's the problem? Does anyone know what the problem was? The 2 fumbles, one of which is kind of excused because Dontrell Hilliard fumbled on a previous possession. The next possession got a touchdown. That's a 4-point swing because the Patriots only got a field goal on the from his turnover. Deontay Foreman, who I continue for good reason to lower your expectations, shouldn't even exist. What expectations do you have? High hopes? I don't even know. Why do you have anything whatsoever about Deontay Foreman? Even a thought. I mean, even a thought about Deontay Foreman is way more than you should have. This fumble is not shocking to me. He was a fumble. He was a Butterfingers in his early 2 years in Houston. I saw him have a bad carrying of technique of the football in Texas, and throughout his career, he's not even particularly fast. So why he thought he was just going to elude these people right behind him, these defensive backs, is a shock to me. He should have immediately been covering that ball, being ready for it to be poked out. He didn't. And that ultimately was the swing of the game. Your boy, D'Onta Foreman, that people keep telling me I should like. Why? What has he done? Ever? I mean, he ran. That was a good run. Even that run, it was the blocking. Come on. I mean, look at the play, dog. I mean, the blocking set it up entirely. Whereas Adontrell Hilliard, who has his problems and needs to improve, I'm not denying that. You actually see burst. You see, oh, wait a minute. When you get him in the open field, that's something. D'Onta Foreman, we can't even run him on the 5-yard line and expect him to get in. We can't run him at the 2-yard line and expect for him to get in. We can't expect him to have any burst whenever he's in open space. We can't expect him to be a consistent catcher of the football. Wait, so what is he? Why does he exist again? Why is he a thing? If I can't expect anything from you in terms of burst in the field, in terms of true power, in terms of receiving ability, in terms of IQ, in terms of ball security, what are you? Why are you valuable to my team? I just don't understand. I just really, really, really don't understand it. I just don't understand the Foreman stuff. I don't. Because even that run, so if you take it out, what is that? That's a 30-yard run. Outside that, he had 18 carries for 79 yards. What is that? That's 4 yards a carry. Really? When Dontrell Hilliard had 10.9, if you take out Hilliard 68, he still had 11 for, so what would that be? 11 for 53? Which is almost 5.1. Still better than D'Onta Foreman. Quick math. All right? So I just don't get it. If anyone wants to explain it to me, I just don't get it. Anyway, let's just continue. Let's continue to the wide receivers. Now, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. And by the way, Sean Bernard, you're in the chat. Thank you, Sean Bernard, for moderating the chat. But unless someone says anything really, really, really offensive, you don't have to delete it. Like, if people call me dumb, whatever, that doesn't bother me. The only thing that should really be muted from the chat is like the N-word in the ER. Outside of that, I'm not offended by nothing. Good luck with that. You know, LeBron, this is off topic. You know how LeBron was getting these people kicked out? Because now this is a little messed up. But like LeBron was playing the other day and he got these 2 fans kicked out because they said, oh, I hope like his son dies in like a bus accident. If I was LeBron, I wouldn't care. I don't care. Hate comments don't bother me. I don't have time. I mute all that out. I really don't care. Why? Because when I was 11, 12 years old, now those people were 11, 12 years old, I was an internet troll. I was. I'll admit that. There are some things I've said on the internet and when I wasn't in people's faces that, oh, if people knew today. So internet trolls don't bother me. Like, good luck with that. You can call me anything under the sun and good luck with that. It ain't gonna bother me. Anyway, so Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. I like him. But I need people to stop. Every time he catches anything, people on Twitter is like, oh, that Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Yeah, now this is a player. I mean, I don't know. Is he? I mean, he's a 4th or 5th wide receiver. Who cares? I just don't understand why that's such a big deal. But anyway, I mean, he played well, I guess. I mean, so did Cody Hollister. He had a nice catch. But, man, Anthony Ferguson, and you know I like you, man. I mean, where are you at? I mean, I guess your mind's just not in it at this point. The chemistry is not there with Ryan Tannehill, which is so shocking because we saw such great chemistry with him and with Ferguson and Tannehill in seasons past. So I'm not sure what has happened with that, but he's irrelevant. And the rest of the tight ends, I mean, Jeff Sims is a tight end 2, Michael Porter is a tight end 3. So there is just nothing there. We couldn't get anything going there. And, you know, Des Fitzpatrick had a catch. Congratulations. We also had the miss, by the way. Tannehill missed. Chester Rogers. I don't really care about this play. It's just one play. If you're boiling down the game to a play that happened in the first, second quarter, did you really have a chance to win the game? But I will say, to me, and I need to watch the tape on how Chester Rogers ran this route exactly, like if he really should have flared out more, but even if he should have, if you view it physically, he still would not have been able to be where that ball was at the time where he needed to be that ball. What does Pythagoras say? The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So you can't argue to me that he should have ran the route more outside, and if he ran the route more outside, he would have been there for the ball. He ran a shorter distance to the ball considering the route that he ran. Okay, so I don't want to hear that argument. I thought it was an overthrow by Tannehill. Not a bad overthrow. What's his name? Mac Jones had a horrible overthrow in the end zone in this one that, is going to go unnoticed, and who really cares? It's just one overthrow. I don't mind a little overthrow here and there. You're a quarterback. It's going to happen. So, but I do think it was an overthrow. I don't know why people are saying Justin Rogers. Lots of people saying, I don't know why he turned around and tried to jump up for it. Dude, Justin Rogers is what, like 6 foot at best? Of course he's going to try to jump for that thing. He can't just put his arm up there and just expect to get it. Of course he's going to jump for that. People saying you should have ran through and caught it. I don't know what physics you guys took. I have no idea what physics you guys took. I thought he did the best chance he had at catching that ball. Okay, anyway. Outside of that, the offensive line. You know what? You have to say this. The offensive line played well. They played well. They protected Tannehill relatively well, but they really did well in the run blocking game. And you have to give props there, credit where credit is due there. David Quessenberry gave up a sack, which I didn't love, and that was early in the game to Matthew Judon. But outside of that, they played pretty damn well. I don't think it was on them. I just think our wide receivers really couldn't get open. Tannehill couldn't find them. The turnovers kind of screwed us over. Some mistakes on defense, and then before you know it, you lose 36-13. And, this score looks worse than it actually was. Truly, it was a 29-13 loss. We went for it on that 4th and 14, which I understand you have to do there. This was with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. But honestly, I wouldn't have done it. I knew the game was over. I would have punted and said, look, I don't want the league thinking that we lost by 3 touchdowns for no damn reason. But, we did it, which is fine. I know you have to. So we did that. And then, they got another touchdown. And then, boom, it's 36-13. And it's a horrible score. And this is one of 2 horrible scores that we've had. The other one being the loss to the Arizona Cardinals. The other 2 losses to the Jets and Texas, not being horrible scores, but being horrible losses. So these are not 4 horrible losses, though. I think there are 4 horrible losses. I don't think we've had which is good and bad, I guess. Yeah, we have not had an honorable loss this season. That's a good thing. That means that you haven't, almost beaten a good team. We've beaten every good team except for the Cardinals and the Patriots, but we've beaten every good team in a close scenario, right? So we know how to win close games. Yay! But man, when the wheels come off, okay, things can get rolling and we can get in trouble, and that stinks. So ultimately for Patriots fans, and some of you guys are out there running my thoughts on your team, I think this is another encouraging victory. It's 6 straight. Look, I had the Patriots 10-7 before the year, making the playoffs, but losing the AFC East. If the Bills continue on their trajectory, I believe you guys will win the AFC East. I knew that Mac Jones was going to be the perfect game manager you guys needed, that your defense was going to improve, and that ultimately that defense was going to be good enough, potentially even great enough to get you guys in the playoffs. But now, you guys are contenders. You guys are absolutely contenders right now. And I can make an argument, potentially the best team in the AFC, I can make the argument. Now, the thing is the Chiefs are coming. Now that their defense is actually playing well, it's like, my God, when the offense starts playing well too, then all of us are in trouble. So the AFC is still up for grabs, but now we're out of the discussion. Until we re-enter that discussion, we are out of that discussion. And that's sad. Now, there is some good news. The Colts lost today. Okay? So that's good. Now, this is not a conversation I anticipated that we'd even have to have 3-4 weeks ago. I thought this thing was over, wrapped, and done with. We still have essentially a 3-game lead over them, officially a 2-game lead over the Colts, with how many games now? 5 games remaining. There's really no reason that we should choke that. We have a huge bye week coming up. We got to get healthy. We got to get our minds right. We got to get ready and focused and ready to just finish out this season strong, man. This bye week cannot come at a more perfect time. This team needs to get healthy, needs to get prepared. And coming off of that bye, there is no excuse in hell that we should lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. If we lose to the Jaguars after the bye week, okay, we panicking. We going right down to Nissan Stadium or Baptist Sports Park or LP Field, whatever the hell they want to call it. And we raising hell in Nashville, Tennessee, if we lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It better not happen, baby. I will raise hell on this earth, people, if we lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars after the bye. And I don't anticipate that. I think we're going to be all right. Week after that, at Steelers, who are reeling. Big Ben's looking worse and worse. Retirement could be approaching him soon. And even that could be a nice victory for us. And then all of a sudden, the ball's rolling again. Now, after that, we have the 49ers and the Dolphins. Niners are looking better. I had them making the playoffs in the midseason. I still have them making the playoffs in the midseason. I think they're coming. I think the Vikings are coming too, though, so it's going to be close between them and the Eagles a little bit. It depends if the Eagles pulled it out against the Giants. Did that happen? Do the Eagles actually pull it out? I'm curious right now. Nope. So the Eagles might be done again. But we'll see. They're still in the running. And Washington could be coming, but that depends if they could beat Seattle tomorrow. So that's the situation over there. So we'll see. But the Colts schedule, it's very manageable, and they're playing very well. They're playing well enough to where, like, I think they could beat almost every team they have remaining on their schedule. They go at the Texans. They host the Patriots. That's 50-50. They go to the Cardinals. I think they'll lose that. They host the Raiders, and they go to the Jaguars. So they're still dangerous. We should still have it, for God's sake. But we do need to look out for it. We do need to be cognizant of the situation going on. But ultimately, the Tennessee Titans failed to get it done, 13-36. That is okay. That is all right. We're still alive. We expected this. If you didn't, my God, relax, please. All right, just as I told some of you guys, relax before saying, we're going to kick the Texans' ass. What's the nickname of our defensive line last week? Why are we worried about that? Worry about what's on the football field, and that is what is important. Now, with that said, let's get to the comments. If you want your comment read, at me in the chat, at SportsFan Entertainment, and you will get your comment read. If you give a super chat, you will have your comment read immediately, and it helps support the channel. So, I mean, that's reason enough, right? So let's go ahead and bring up the comments, and let us begin. With Random, that says, at SportsFan Entertainment, defense looking like a joke again. Look, I won't say it was a joke. I think they weren't particularly motivated today. I think there were just slight problems in the secondary and zone coverage and just man coverage as well. Plays that could have went either way, like the Kevin Byard deep ball to Jacoby Myers. And I think they just had a really good game plan. I think the Patriots offensive line was just really strong today. You know, people are hyping up this offensive line. I'm like, yo, y'all need to relax. Everyone's like, this is one of the best Titans defensive lines ever. We should give them a nickname, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, relax, people. First of all, do y'all remember Kyle Vanderbosch? Do y'all remember Javon Curse? Do you remember these people, Albert Haynesworth, or no? Because I know some of y'all are young, but damn. I mean, seriously. Even the Jarrell Casey, Carl Krieg days are close to this. Okay, so let's relax when it comes to some of those things. All right, anyway, let's move on. Thank you for the comment. Random. I won't say it's looking like a joke, but it's not great. AT says, at SportsFan Entertainment, can't believe people actually think Jonathan Taylor is better than the King. Henry would have 3,000 yards behind that offensive line compared to being met by 3 in the backfield most plays. Well, I won't say 3,000 yards, but he would have more yards. Like, the Colts have a better offensive line than us, but it's not by much now. Hell, the Colts offensive line was actually struggling throughout the early part of the season, throughout the first 3, 4, 5 games of the season. So I can't actually say that. They're just now getting it going. But here's the thing with Jonathan Taylor. I know people are jealous, and let's just call it what it is, that people are giving Jonathan Taylor more attention than they were giving Henry. First of all, I don't think that's true. I think one person said that Jonathan Taylor deserves MVP credit, and since then, people are just going crazy saying, oh my God, everyone's saying that Jonathan Taylor's MVP. I don't think that's what happened. I think one person, I don't even know who said it, but I think one reporter said it, and then everyone started freaking out saying, oh my God, you see what happens when another running back does Well, our running back does. They get attention. We don't get no. I think one person said that. But before Henry got hurt, no, people were discussing him as MVP. He wasn't definitive, but people were discussing him as MVP way more than Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, I've never seen a segment about Jonathan Taylor on First Take, Undisputed. And I've not seen that. Have you? When did you see that? A whole segment tailored around him. I have not. So until he gets that sort of attention, no, he's not getting the attention that Henry was getting. No, he's not. Relax. You're just a little upset. I know, and that's fine. You were fans. But I don't think that's true. He's fantasy MVP, or like for sure, especially at the running back position this year. But and also understand that a lot of people view things, because they're morons, from the view of fantasy, right? So because he's great in fantasy, they love it, you know? So that's just these people. All right, so with that said, let's continue. I want to say this is pronounced Quebert. Yeah, let's say Quebert, who says, as sports fan entertainment should be looking for a way out from this Tannehill situation. Again, for me, only if Ryan Tannehill, only if Russell Wilson is available. Let me look real quick if there's any. Also look at the free agent quarterbacks. I mean, we couldn't sign one anyway, but if we could like trade him away and then sign one or something. I don't think there's any free agent quarterbacks. I think if there, oh, it was Baker. I guess Baker's technically one. You know what? Nah, I'm not going to go that far. Would I be interested in Baker Mayfield? Now, he's not actually an upcoming free agent, so I guess he's a free agent 2022. They have him under that fifth-year option. Is that true? Why is that true? Baker Mayfield contract. Why do they keep talking about this extension every day? Well, he's on a contract on that fifth-year option next year. Do I want Baker? Nah. No, it would be a marginal improvement at best. So no, and it probably wouldn't. It'd be a risk. It'd be marginal, like probably marginally better, marginally worse, but it could be a disaster. But also, one is still on the way. Well, one should be on the way up in his career, and then one isn't. Nah. All right, anyway, but I still love Baker from college. Baker tape was great, so I still hold on to my Baker tape, and also his rookie year, and also last year. Okay, let's continue with the comments. Griffin Harris says, as sports fan entertainment, do you think Julio and Ryan Tannehill can develop some chemistry in those couple of games without A.J. Brown? Well, they're going to have to. And I do think that they will. I mean, and Julio, he should be back in the Jaguars game, right? Please, for God's sake. I mean, hopefully, and, you know, thank God he's not been, like, complaining. Like, I would have imagined, and let me look at the stats, because I've not looked at the stats in a while. I would have imagined, if you would have told me a scenario where Julio has the stats that he has right now, he would have forced a trade. That was what I would have told you. Now, I don't know Julio's personality. I'm kind of just assuming. But, I mean, yeah, 336 yards. Oh, I thought he would have been out of here. I mean, Josh Reynolds was doing nothing. Josh Reynolds had, like, and he requested a trade. He has no, like, clout whatsoever. So Julio's humble, man. He's coming here. He's put his head down, be down for the winning, and they're going to have to get it together, man. Wow, 336 yards. Ain't no chance hell he's going to have a 1,000-yard season. A.J. Brown, by the way, he has 615. He has way more than I thought. Okay, so A.J. Brown, he's still likely with 5 games left. Although he's going to miss 2 more. Well, at least 1 more. 1,000 is going to be right on the edge for him. I doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, so we will continue down the line. Thank you for the comment, Griffin Harris. Ryan Marketel says, as sports fan entertainment, J.R. Brown is almost as bad as Evans at this point. Yeah, J.R. Brown's been struggling. Not sure what's going on with him. I'm not gonna say he's bad as Rashaan Evans. Rashaan Evans stinks. He's gone. He's been on the injured list every week, and I have not in mind that he's out of here. He's done. He's finished. 2018 first round pick. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Because we got Harold Landry for the second round pick in that draft. Who else could we have gotten? Let me look up that real quick. Who else could we have gotten in that 2018 NFL draft that could have helped shape this team in a slightly better direction? Hell, I want to say this was the Leighton Vander Esch. Oh, no. He was drafted before Rashaan Evans anyway. Yeah, he was. Okay, so we could have gotten... We didn't need him at the time. We could have used a wide receiver at the time, Calvin Ridley, who's currently crazy. I know, I'm kidding. It's mental health. I understand the mental health. DJ Moore, we could have gotten. I really thought we were going to take a wide receiver in this draft. I was surprised when we didn't. But we could have took DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley, especially when Calvin Ridley's on the board, because that was quite surprising at the time. Those are the only ones that, like, realistically, like a Darius Leonard, maybe. Those would have been nice. But ultimately, we did okay. It just would have been nice to get anyone except for Rashaan Evans, who, again, is out of here and, again, stinks. Okay, so Griffin Harris says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, why does Downing refuse to throw the ball on the first down? I don't know. And in fact, that needs to change. And I've already harped on that, so I don't want to keep harping on that. But again, it just shocks me. And excuse me, more in a game like this, we don't have great wide receiving talent. But it still shocks me how we don't have a simple passing game. A lot of you guys play Madden. You don't have to pass the ball every single first down on Madden, unless if you're just playing, online play, which you probably should. But like even then, you know how to just call a simple slant pattern on first down. It gets you a nice 6-7 yards. You set up a 2nd and 3. You could do whatever the hell you want. I mean, what the hell is so hard about that? What? I just don't. I don't understand it sometimes when it comes to just, hey, let's just drop back and let's just throw this thing. Just on first, that's just a nice simple pattern. Someone's going to get open. They're going to play off coverage on that first down, most likely. Most likely. If they don't, then you do something else. You can even try doing something over the top, depending on the safety coverage. You have more options if you have a quarterback at the line that can make those checks, which I hope we have. But anyway, all right, so let's continue. And you know what we really need? We really, really, really... No more Anthony Ferkser, because actually, I still like Ferkser, and I still want him to have a job. Look, did Laney Walker explore this franchise? We need a tall, fast tight end. We need that, like now, like today, like tomorrow. There's two things that this offense really needs. Well, outside of health, we need a pass-catching receiving back, and we need a tall, athletic tight end that can catch the football, because we really could use a tight end that could go over the seam. Like, we need that so bad. And Delaney Walker spoiled us because he was one of the rare short tight ends that could do this successfully. These are the tight ends can't do it. Ferkser can't do it. All Ferkser can do, and I love it, all he can do is run 8-yard hitch. That's all he does. That's all he does. We need someone that can run a damn seam. I mean, the tight end seam is one of the most, and the tight end post. Two of the most beautiful plays in the NFL that tight ends can run. When you have an athletic, tall tight end, and you're able to hit that, it's a beautiful damn thing. And Jonnu was okay at it. He was improving. Even then, he's still not great at it. We need that. Let's go on the phone and see what OJ Howard does. I haven't been able to convince himself as a starting tight end in this league. I'll grant that. Let's see what it would take to get him. Or, something like that. Or just draft one. I'm so down to draft one, but we have a lot of needs, unfortunately, that have shown themselves this year. Maybe not too many needs, but I think tight end is up there. I think it's up there. I really, really, really do. I really do think it's up there. I really want an athletic tight end. I really want one. Okay, so Keith Bailey says, if we lose the first round bye, do you think we'll be affected in terms of regards to if Henry returns or our playmakers return? So I guess you mean, yeah, if we lose the number 1 seed and we don't have the bye week anymore, I still think, they'd be back for the first playoff. I don't see a scenario in which Derrick Henry is not back January 16, which, God forbid, we actually play January 16, but for that first playoff game, or the 15th. It could be the 15th, but God forbid. But I still think Henry will be back. I think everyone will be back. So I don't think any of that's a concern yet, but as we get closer to that date, we will see more and more. Aaron Foster says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, the addition of Long, Tart, and even Mr. Rashaan himself would be huge coming after the bye. I'll agree with Long and Tart. I'll agree with Long and Tart. All right, Alex M says, could we go one and done in the playoffs? We absolutely could. Anything's possible. We may not make the playoffs, but I think we will. It's certainly possible. If we lose this division, which I don't think we will, we are likely to line up against the loser of the AFC East, and that's likely to be, to me, right now, the Buffalo Bills. We also could host the Chargers. Yeah, both of those teams could easily come here and beat us. Easily. Let's get our stuff together. All right, so let's continue. CB says, as sports fan entertainment, do we have a chance of replacing Tannehill with Rodgers? If not, who? Yeah, so for me, Rodgers is not particularly possible, but I would be so down. Oh, you know what? I would be so down because, first of all, we're in a situation where we have a youngish team, especially defensively. Offensively, also to a certain extent. But with Julio's situation, if we had Rodgers and Julio for 2 years, bro, and this defense, this budding defense, bro, if that don't get you a Super Bowl, I don't know what would. And imagine this Rodgers Titans team against like a Brady Bucks team. Oh my God. Rodgers and Julio versus Rodgers and Adams. Wow. I mean, the excitement alone. Look, just for the league, we should do that. Just to create such fun scenarios like that. Just such fun matchups that I'm sure we'll squander anyway. Just as if we squandered this year. No, I'm kidding. But I'm not. No, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be fun. But I'd be down. I'd be down for 1 or 2 first-round picks. You know, for one. Maybe one and Tannehill. Or something like that. Because Rodgers only has a couple more years left. But you'd have to see. Quebert asks at Sports Fan Entertainment, have you heard of anything on when the King will be back? No, I have not, unfortunately. Now, I expect that it will be early in January. This is what I expect. I believe it will be week 16. But we need to get a little closer before we know more of that. All right. I will take one more and then I will get out of here. Should I even take one more? Yeah, I'll take one more. Go Titans 27. God bless America. Says, do you think our pass rush isn't doing as good because of mobile quarterbacks? Well, no, because I don't think Matt Jones is very mobile. I mean, Matt Jones is average, like average mobile for quarterbacks now. Like, he's average. For quarterbacks now, especially of the younger generation, he's average. So if Mac Jones is too mobile for us, okay, then that's no good. Because again, he's probably below average. Like if you look at the quarterback class right here, who do you have? You have Zach Wilson, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have him, you have Justin Fields, and you have Trey Lance. He's literally the least mobile of the 5, okay? And it's not even close. So if we can't compete with Mac Jones, if he's giving us problems, then we're not ready for the new age mobile quarterback in this league, which I don't think is the case. I just think today, I just wasn't seeing it. I think we're missing Bud Dupree a little bit. You know, we got after, and I think the protection is really good in New England. I mean, I think the protection lately has been fantastic, and I think they were just better than our offensive line and our pass rush today. So there you go. That's going to do it for me here on Sports Fan Entertainment. Tennessee Titans again failed to get it done 30-36, but it is okay. We will be back after the bye week, and I assume that we will be better. Okay, this is what I expect from you. However, this was not great, and we definitely need to improve. So until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.